In his mind's eye, he observes the evil's ascent as clearly as if he were outside on the landing, witnessing its approach. The count stops at 13. For several moments there is only silence. But not entirely. As he strains to hear, the sound of laboured breathing comes to him. It is mixed with the low, throaty rattle that, in those not used to physical exertion, speaks of too much drink. The pause lasts almost a minute. During it, the heavy breathing subsides while the boy stares, wide-eyed, towards where he knows the door is. The sound of shuffling steps is followed by the squeak of a handle, turning. A crack of dim light appears. For a moment, it remains just a crack, as if tempting him to hope the door will shut again. But he is not fooled. He knows it will not. This is the way it happens. Every time. The crack widens. A whimper escapes the boy's throat, and he scuttles back on the bed until he reaches the wall, and can go no further. A man's head and shoulders, huge it seems in the now semi-dark, appear round the door. Guttural breathing and the odorous smell of stale beer fill the room. The figure is framed against the light, so the face is in shadow. Even so, the boy imagines the flabby lips and drooling mouth twisted into the black-toothed snarl that passes for a smile as he hears the greeting that marks the evil is upon him once more. "Hello, boy. Happy birthday." Chapter 1. The man the flics who make up the Paris CID had taken to calling the English detective stared hard at the screen. The past hour his gaze had barely shifted from it. At its centre, still pondering his response to all he had heard, Henri de Selle, the self-styled Comte de Vergennes, sat upright, correct, and composed. Dressed in a shiny petrol-blue suit, white silk handkerchief peeping above the breast pocket, he looked every inch the aristocrat he purported to be. The silver-topped cane and carefully trimmed goatee complemented the look. Had DCI Jamie Carver not read his intelligence file, he may even have taken him for a real count. But while de Selle was the operation's designated target, the greater part of Carver's attention was not on him, but the woman half-sitting, half-reclining on the chaise just out of shot at the top of the screen. Rather, it was on her legs, which were all he could see of her, and which explained the frustration gnawing at him. It had been that way since she had settled there, shortly after arriving in the fourth-floor bedroom of the Grand Hôtel Édouard VII, in the heart of Paris's fashionable opera district. They had been expecting that de Selle would be alone. That was what he had intimated when he rang, 3 days before, to confirm his interest and his attendance at the time and place stipulated. When he first stepped out of the taxi that brought him, and Carver heard the transmission confirming there was a woman with him, his heart had skipped a beat. When someone described her as having dark hair and being très vavavoum, it skipped several more. If it was her, his mission to Paris could end right here, provided no one cocked up and let her slip through their fingers when he called a strike. Earlier, as the hidden mics relayed the knock on the door of the room directly below theirs, Carver had hovered in front of the screen like an expectant father. All he needed was a glimpse. 17 months isn't that long, and unless she'd resorted to cosmetic surgery, highly unlikely, he would have no difficulty identifying her. The camera concealed in the ceiling rose didn't cover the door, but it did the chairs set up in the middle of the room. During each of the 5 meetings previous to this, the subjects' faces were clear. On those occasions, it hadn't mattered that whoever provided the Paris CID with their tech support had chosen to use a fixed camera.